About a week ago, Saka, or more well known as Pies Are Good for Health, made an announcement on his Discord server.
Guys, there's a super hidden encrypted secret in the 7-month video that hasn't been decoded. TZZV, CT,
This really interested me, and I wanted to find out what this message meant or where the message even was. But first, we need to look at another video by TZZV that also has an encrypted message.
Welcome to Busters Incorporated. This training video will provide you information on your equipment, as well as guiding you on how to successfully eliminate possible paranormal threats. Section 1. Equipment and Weaponry. Prior to entering the sector, you will be given the following: a plastic high detonation velocity explosive weapon and detonator. Use the adhesive coating to mount the explosive on walls prior to the examination of the sector, detonating it only when absolutely necessary.
From the style of this video and also from the title itself, we can see that this is a video educating new employees, more specifically liquidators, about Busters Incorporated and how to do their job. These liquidators are given an explosive, a rifle with a red dot laser, and likely body armor, but it is never mentioned on the video. For most of the video, nothing really strange happens, only occasional spazzes in the video, but seeing that this looks like a VHS tape from the 80s, this isn't all too surprising. But the further we go into the video, the stranger it gets, from someone lying dead on the ground, presumably from using their explosive incorrectly, to a phantom-like figure standing in front of a black screen. None of this, however, can compare to what happens towards the end of the video.
2. Tactics and Strategy. While performing surveillance on paranormal anomalies, it is recommended to stay as a group when possible. This is mainly due to the fact that regardless of the circumstances, you will never see your family again.
Section 3. I am everywhere. I am the consequence of the incessant butchering of yourself in slaughterhouses. You will be degraded at my hand. I am ready.
At first glance, there are no clues given for what the figure says, not even in the description. The message is so distorted, you would have to spend hours and maybe even days to decode it by audio, which would probably make you go insane. It seems you can't decode it until you look at this button. Subtitles/closed captions. There are quite a few things I want to mention before we get to the main part. First of all, these subtitles were typed out manually. You can tell because everything is grammatically correct, while if you go to a video of mine and watch it with subtitles... Another thing I noticed was some of the lines were completely cut out, like this one.
At Busters Incorporated, we take great pride in the well-being of our liquidators. By working with us, you agree that Busters Incorporated nor its partners may be held accountable for the disappearance, dismemberment, or death of any individual involved. Due to the nature of our work, we hope you understand that you will never.
I assume this was so the video didn't get taken down, but you can also hear the music cut out as soon as a line is said. Something else I noticed was when it shows the headcam footage of one of the liquidators, we are given the date of 10/19/... This conflicts a lot with the second video, and I'll get into that when I'm talking about it. The last thing I noticed was the encrypted code itself.
Section 3. I am everywhere. I am the consequence of the incessant butchering of yourself in slaughterhouses. You will be degraded at my hand. I am ready.
I had a lot of theories about what in the fuck this could mean. Maybe it was just the text being scrambled around? That couldn't be it, since the first line was put in the same order as the sections, and none of these characters are in the word section. You can also see it in the video itself and kinda hear it.
Section 3. I am everywhere. I am the consequence of the incessant
These words don't really explain very much, and even when you put them together, they just kinda confuse me even more. However, this led me to finding out what the entire thing meant. Now, let me be clear. I don't know shit about encryption or decoding, I just managed to do so with a little bit of Google. Because I knew B stood for I in whatever encryption language this was, that was the first thing I started to look up. I came across this website which, long story short, didn't really help at all. But then, I actually had a pretty smart idea. I took that first line of encrypted text, typed it into the search bar, and hit enter. And guys, there it was. A historical book report! Do they actually expect people to read this? Because holy fuck! I backed out with my hands empty, all hope lost on trying to figure out what this meant. I took the scroll of shame down to the depths of my Google search and found a search that sounded close enough to encrypted, so I gave it a shot. The art of writing or solving codes. I was getting somewhere, but not quite there yet. Luckily, Google just told me to click on this, and so I did, and guys... This website was everything I needed. I put the text into the decoder and I don't read it and scroll down like a dumbass trying to find out how to decode it manually. I don't know why I did this, and I was pretty damn brain dead for trying to look through on how to decode it when it was right in front of my eyes, already decoded. Basically, you take the normal English alphabet and take the Caesar alphabet and just flip the characters. If it's A in the English alphabet, it's D in the Caesar alphabet. If it's P in the Caesar alphabet, it's M in the English alphabet. After my little moment, I saw it. I translated the rest of the subtitles from the first line, and this is what came up. I translated the line after that, and the line after that, and so on, until everything the figure says was decoded. With everything decoded from the Caesar alphabet to the English alphabet, this is what it said.
Section 3. I am everywhere. I am the consequence of the incessant butchering of myself in slaughterhouses. You will be devoid of my hand. I am ready.
I'm going to go much more in depth on this video, as there is a lot more information to talk about compared to the other one. With the second video, we can see that this was intended to be a video to intimidate the criminals of Sector 07, showing body camera footage of RCU members killing them. On some of the clips, the audio is not on sync. With this knowledge, you would expect the audio to be delayed, but it's actually the opposite. It gives off a really horrifying vibe since you are able to hear what happens before you are able to see what happens. After a lot of RCU massacres and excessive force, we are met with this message. This means that you weren't supposed to see this message and are being hunted down for doing so. But this doesn't explain why the RCU would go out of their way to make a video about themselves killing their citizens for what looks like intimidation. However, there is something very important in here, and it's these coordinates. I tried looking it up on Google, but of course when you type in a string of a bunch of random numbers, nothing's going to pop up. I then went to a latitude and longitude finder, put in the coordinates, and oh, I have to put in a location. Well, seeing that TZZV is British, I went ahead and put in the UK. Ah, dead middle of buttfuck nowhere. I knew this couldn't be it, because why would he put the most random ass mountains as the location for where this is coming from? I tried the US because maybe Sector 07 itself was located somewhere in the US. This couldn't be it either, seeing that it completely changed the coordinates I put into it. I realized I could put in London as a location, so then I did. And well, I don't really think this is a coincidence. This also changed my coordinates, but not by a lot, and where else would he be pointing to in London? It's dead center of the city. The only thing that goes against this is the Busters Incorporated bodycam footage. It uses the American format for time, or rather month, day, year. If this was located somewhere in Britain, and in this case specifically the middle of London, Why would it be using the month, day, year format instead of the format that Britain and pretty much the rest of the world use? After all of that, we are greeted with this message. This means the access of the brutal video footage was allowed and authorized to be seen. There's no leads I can get from this without stretching really far, but I'll mention them anyway. This could mean the person was allowed the entire time and it was just a mistake for blocking him originally. Or it could be a hacker of some sort trying to access this video to expose the RCO of their over-the-top actions on Sector 07 citizens. With enough pressure from the outside world, it's possible that the government that manages the RCO can shut down the organization entirely. Finally, we are greeted with this last image. An RCU member holding his shield to the side with blurred out images of two people bleeding to their death. There's nothing that this can tie to other than RCU members being extra with how they handle misbehaving citizens of Sector 07. Now, for the encrypted messages. There is no subtitles for this video, but there is a description for it. The text looks similar to how the subtitles look in the Busters Incorporated video, so I copied the description and put it into the decoder, and this is what came up. This completely redacts anything about a user who was authorized by the RCU to see this video footage, meaning someone unauthorized hacked their way in to be able to see this footage. All data has been halted and taken back, with an RCU raid taking place on the person who was doing this data breaching. They are in Sector 07 somewhere, as seen in the text. I have no idea what O-11 means, maybe the number of agents or the code numbers for individual RCU agents, I don't know. Speaking of the agents, there's the OPR, short for operator, and the SGD, short for sergeant. I only have two ideas for what the black boxes might stand for. Each black box might represent a letter in someone's name, for example, the operator being RVVZ and the sergeant being TZZV. The other idea is each box represents a member in the raid. This is less likely though. Why would there be 4 operators and 4 sergeants, some of the higher ranks, but no soldiers of any kind? Now you might think, is this it? Everything decrypted? Well, no. I missed something earlier in the video, but if you have a good eye, you might have seen it. Watch this clip and see if you can, well, see it. I'll play it back one more time for you. Alright, let's reverse just a bit and there. We can see some more encrypted text again in the same format as both the Busters Incorporated text and the RCU text. If we put this in the decoder, we get this. The only thing this could mean is information, probably in the video itself, is being tampered with while in transmit. Now, transmitting to where? I don't know, maybe the hacker trying to steal the video to expose to the world and the RCU is tampering with it, preventing the hacker from doing so. I want to take this time to thank TZZV for making these extremely well edited videos that have a bit of a story to tell. There's a link in the description for you to check him out, and please do. He is currently making another video and I was lucky enough to get 2 hints, but I wouldn't want to ruin the surprise.